Hello, my name is Zenokami from Essence of Zen. Today I'll be doing a tutorial on Open Broadcaster, also known as OBS. Now, OBS is mainly used to record gaming, captures. It's also used for streaming straight to Twitch or YouTube live streaming and etc. But it can also be used to record your normal desktop. That's what I use when I do tutorials on programming and etc. Now, Open Broadcaster is a open source software that's also in beta and comes in 64-bit and 32 bits. When you go to download it, make sure you're using the right versions and for the right OS. So if you use Windows 7 or 8, you just click this version right here. It'll open up to a GitHub and it has an installer. Now, typically speaking, if you're using a OS that doesn't automatically pop up into what version it's using, you can just go to download the page itself. Hey Lewis, you click that you understand the licenses and you can actually download the normal file. You can actually get a source file for it because it is open source, and you can do all sorts of great things with it. But yeah, so I have the OBS 64-bit. I'm going to run it. It's going to come up with this scene right here. Matter of fact, I actually remove, yes, I actually did this earlier and corrupted video data. Anyway, so what you want to make sure you do first is go to files, or excuse me, settings, and make sure your basic stuff is in order. We'll do other videos about the advanced stuff, such as how hard you want your CPU to run and encode for how many ticks and seconds and etc. But generally speaking, you want to make sure that it's in your language. You have your main profile set up, so you can have profiles for game capturing, live streaming, or just desktop capturing. I'm just gonna leave it on main, yada yada yada. For your broadcast settings, you want to go to mode, and if you're gonna record and not just live stream, go to file output only, and then set up your path. So I have a folder on my J drive called Open Broadcaster, a folder inside that called Recordings, and then every time I create a recording, or I start recording and finish it and it encodes, it's going to be set as untitled.mp4. Don't worry about the relay buffer links and etc. right now. We're not covering that in today's video and etc. Go to your video section, and make sure your video adapter is set to your current or your main GPU, or if you have your SLI, just whatever GPU you're using. And you can actually set a custom resolution, which I have here, but it's set to my main monitor's resolution. I could just say monitor 1, but in case something else happens on my monitor and it creates like a temporary change, I like to have it set to a custom of what is set to by default. So yeah, you want to go to audio as well and make sure your default computer's audio is set up normally. You want to make sure your microphone is set up to which microphone you use. I use primarily my Samsung Go mic, so I use this one right here. I do not use my WebCam's mic because I hate that microphone so much. You want to go to your hotkeys as well. Yes, I didn't make any changes really. Yeah, you want to go to your hotkeys and then just scope everything out. You can use push to talk for your audio. I don't, because I hate push to talk. It's too much trouble to think and there's too many button presses. And for your broadcast, you want to make sure you have a set start recording and a stop recording. For me, I use F9 and F10. For you, you can use something totally different. Just click on it, set it, and you're good to go. You want to go down to advanced. You don't want to go to advanced. And if you want to have a noise gate, you can enable it, and this will basically set your microphone to record only when it detects your voice at a certain level in decibels. And so that means if you're mumbling, it won't activate the gate, and your voice won't be recorded. But if you start talking in a normal tone after you do your initial settings, it'll start recording, and you will record only what you want it to. But you have to be mindful of your range, if you're mumbling, if you're yelling, all that good stuff. And you're pretty much done for your generic settings and your generic bases. So For me, I have my main profile, which I'm not going to deviate from. You can set up another one in settings, as you saw earlier. If you were, attention, we can do another video on it if you like. Just ask in the comments. And we can go to scene collections. I'm going to use my normal scenes. You know what? Let's go ahead and make a new one. We'll call it desktop. So now I have a whole new set of scenes in this bottom left, and that's basically a scene is what it sounds like. A scene to record, a type of pinpoint direction of what you want to be seen. Scene and scene are two different types of scenes, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm going to right click this. I'm going to rename it to desktop. And then for sources, I can actually set up a global source if I'm going to reuse the same ones over and over again for a default setting. So I can actually click global source right here, go to add, and then I'm going to do a monitor capture. Because remember, this video is for capturing your desktop for tutorials. So I'm going to click add monitor capture. I'm going to name it monitor 1. Or do I want to call it main monitor? I don't know. I'm going to call it monitor 1. And then you get this monitor capture window that pops up. Just click, if you use a dual or tri or multiple monitor setups, just click the one you want to record as your, for your video. And for me, I'm going to use the main one because my number 2 monitor is actually much smaller, and I use it for basic data relay, getting information from other people, like, Twitter streams, G+ streams, and etc. And I don't want you all to see that information. So I'm just going to leave it on number 1. I'm going to leave gamma at 1. That's basically, brightness and etc. I'm going to leave opacity at 100 because I don't want this to be faded. And no, I don't want to have subregion selected because I'm trying to capture the entire 1920 by 1080 section of my monitor, which is the entire full monitor. Don't worry about color key. It's not really important for this video. And just click OK. And then you're just going to click OK, and when you get down here, you right click your sources, add, go to your global source, and you click a monitor 1. And then yes, you just leave it the same name, and you're good to go for basic stuff. Now, if you look here, you'll see a microphone symbol. This is basically, your volume for your mic when you're recording using OBS. To the right of that is your system's volume. So if you have things like music playing on your computer, it'll actually pick up that as well. You can actually change the volumes of each of these. So if you're playing like a video game, or if you're working on a program that has an annoying background music to it, you can just quiet this down and keep your microphone to the same level at 100. Or if you want, for some strange reason, like if your family comes over in mid recording and you need to mute or drop the volume, just lower this, or you can just click this to mute it altogether, also known as disabling the mic and re-enabling it, and vice versa. So I'm going to set this back to 100. Okay, so now that we have the basic setup, we're going to go ahead and preview what it looks like to record your desktop. So we're going to click preview stream, and it's going to take a while. And as you can see here, we have our inception recording of a recording of a recording of a recording, and so on to the infinite amount of times. If you look at the bottom, you'll see that it's been recording for 13 seconds already under a preview. So none of this is being recorded. There's no file being created, to keep permanently. If you look to the right of that, there's drop frames showing you if there's any stutters or if there's any recording portions that's going to be skipped in the finalized output of the file. To the right of that, you see FPS, which is mainly your frames per second. I have it set to 30 frames per second, so it's capping at 30 frames per second, which is just fine. Depending on your CPU, this may fluctuate. There's settings you can use and an advanced options which you can make a video on later, but just know that if your CPU is kind of dated, you may have issues running OBS, or maybe your default settings for the CPU intensity is set a little too high and you're just putting too much load onto it, or you could be running a bunch of crap in the background like most people do, myself included. To the right of that is basically I can't remember if this is either bitrate or just general amounts of data being recorded for the encoding. I think it's bitrate though, and if you're not really sure about bitrate, I'm obviously or hopefully you're not trying to do OBS for live streaming to Twitch. If you are, we can do an entire video about bit strings or bit rates and etc. to explain what a bit rate is or what bit rates or what bit rate is, you know, etc. But as you can see, we're pretty much good to go. We're recording we're previewing our desktop. See, we got some high encoding CPU usage, and there was a stutter in the movement of said box. I guess what I'm using right now to record this particular tutorial is taking a lot on my CPU. So we're gonna stop the preview there. Now we're pretty much done. You can just click start recording and you can just go on your merry way, and then when you're done recording, just click stop recording and you're good to go. But some people may want to have their webcam added. So what we're going to do is go back to sources. We're going to right click, do add, and then go down to, we got to create a global source. Go to global sources, and we're going to add, and we're going to click video capture device. And we're going to call this webcam. Alright, so when a device comes up, you're going to see Microsoft Livecam Cinema. This is my particular webcam or whatever you use. I only have one. If you have a camcorder, it should pop up in this too if it's compatible with your set computer. Now you can go to configure and you can set it up all la-di-da for your focusing and your zoom, your color, your saturation, contrast, all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. Or you can just go back to your default and etc. But that is all fine and dandy. I'm going to leave everything how it is at the moment and just say okay. I'm going to disable the audio for the webcam. My webcam does have a built-in microphone, but I do not like it because it is too sensitive. It picks up a fly's wing, and while that can be considered awesome for, certain purposes, when you're just trying to record, you don't want every single sound, knock, cranny. If you have a dog that's walking or drinking water in the background, you don't want it to pick up that sound, so I'm just going to have it disabled. Because I also use a USB microphone. If you have your USB mic enabled, with the webcam mic enabled, you're going to get a weird, echoey, double audio sound effect. And if you want to hear what that sounds like, I'll put a video in the on screen that you can click to, and you can hear like the first 5 seconds because I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And it was because of this. So I'm going to leave this disabled because I have it. Go away. I have a USB mic, and that's what I'm going to be used for my main audio. So if you don't have a USB microphone and you do want to use the built-in microphone on your webcam, just make sure you enable it. And if you don't want to use the built-in webcam audio, you disable it. I'm pretty sure you guys know about that. So I'm just going to click OK, and we're pretty much good to go. We're going to say OK, right-click sources, add global sources, webcam. And we're just going to call it webcam. Now we get to the point where we're going to do preview stream. And we're going to wait because now the webcam has to boot up. And we're waiting and we're waiting. Now we have it. Okay, as you can see here, the webcam image is rather humongous, and it's kind of eating up 3/4 or at least 2.5/4 of the screen's real estate. And it's also taking a big hit for the CPU encoding because I'm also recording a recording of a recording. Anywho, that's my webcam. You can see my hand here as it points to a various location because I have it off my face because I'm not pampered and set up for on-camera FaceTime. So if you don't want this big distraction on your main recording, what you want to do is click edit your scene. And now I can actually target the webcam's video and the desktop's video. I'm going to target the webcams. I'm going to click this little corner and drag it till it shrinks. And now I have full power over my webcam's position. And you can leave it here in the top left, bottom right, bottom left, top right. I'm going to keep it at the top left. This is what I usually prefer when I do any type of inception of a video inside of a video. So then that you're done, you want to click edit scene yet again, and it's going to set the stage for that particular motion. And then you want to click start preview, and you're pretty much set to go. Alright, here's the moment of truth in this long ass video. we're going to start recording. So I'm going to basically click this start recording, and I'm going to wait as it painfully loads the right actions to start recording and encoding and use the CPU and etc. Okay, so as you probably just saw, I finished the test recording and I clicked stop recording, and now I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go over to my folder and go into the J directory. I'm going to go to Open Broadcaster Recordings and go to the most recent created Untitled, which is Untitled 22. I don't know why I'm giving myself a weird accent. Do not judge me, people. Do not judge. I'm going to double click and we're going to actually run this in VLC. You're going to hear my voice. It's going to sound a wee bit different because it'll be the actual output file of said recordings. So I'm just going to double click this and let it run. CPU and etc. Alright, now we're good to go. We are actually making a file at this right very moment that's been lasting for 7 seconds, 8 seconds. We're doing a lot of testing and blah 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 blah. I'm sorry to lose my sanity while recording this video because I did this before and it's So I'm going to move this particular window off screen to my second monitor. This guy sounds so you're going to just see nothing but the actual desktop. Okay, I have moved the video. I'm putting my hand in front of the camera so you can see that it's still recording normally. And I'm going to, well, you won't be able to see this at the moment, so I might just try to cut to the particular thing. Alright, so now I am specifically recording this for the output file of OBS. So I'm going to skip here when I'm done with the actual testing of the programming recording. I'm going to click edit scene off screen, and you may see my webcam move mysteriously during this conversation. Like as I move it to the bottom and I move it to the right and move it back up and probably even move it out of sight partially and then bring it back. Okay, and then click edit scene again and lock it back in place. And then I'm gonna move the window back over to the left because I can. I have that power. You have the power to move anything into your power's will. Okay, I'm rambling, and that kind of concludes the test for the recording. And that actually concludes the pretty much basis of this entire video. We're pretty much done. You have seen the power of OBS. If you have any questions about this said program, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Yes, there are possible plugins. Yes, there are more settings you can do. It is also important to note that it is strongly based on your CPU and your GPU of how well this program actually records for you. For instance, you can have the CPU settings set to it. Sorry about that, my dog was bothering me. You can actually set your CPU to different settings in the advanced panel to actually play with the output and the performance of your recording. And we'll go over that in a future video, but not at the moment because I still have physics homework I need to do for my college courses, and I'm flooded and piled against with all the assignments. I've just depressed myself. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. So if you do have any issues recording and doing things, it could either be, you know, incompatibilities with the software in your particular GPU or your CPU, or something else is going on with your system. Because you gotta remember, Open Broadcaster or Open OBS is still in beta, so you know they're still, you know, increasing performances for different range of different reasons of different things, and nothing can ever go the same for every two or, you know, every user at once. So just keep that in mind. You know, do some basic Googling, go to the OBS forums if you have any issues, or you can ask us, and if we can solve the problem for you, we will. Well, not solve it for you, but try to recreate your issue and give you a solution. And I can't magically appear in your house to fix the software for you, nor am I a part of the OBS team. I guess it's open source and I can look at the source code, but that's still a little bit beyond my capabilities at the moment. That's what I'm in school for. But that concludes the video. I'm actually quite tired and I'm rambling. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you did not enjoy the video, leave a dislike and tell us ways, or tell us why you disliked it, so we can improve on the future videos. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. That is perfectly fine. We value every bit of our subscribers and our viewers and our watchers. If you have any questions, statements, if I made a mistake in this video about anything related to OBS, feel free to correct me. Please do it politely. I mean, if you don't, I'm still gonna value said outcome or your input. I just probably won't thank you for it. So that's pretty much it, guys. This has been Zeno coming from Essence of Zen. I'm signing out. Make sure you have a wonderful day, and until the next video, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
March winds and April showers make way for sweet May flowers. And